Well, and I would think also the flip side, right? The things that we need to say no to, in addition to saying yes to, like being able to set those boundaries for ourselves and, maintain some discipline around that. Yeah, fear and scarcity. Boy, those are big ones, I think, underlying money and perhaps inheriting some of those beliefs from our families. Is that what you kind of see there?
Yes, absolutely. That is a huge trend. I mean, we pick up our relationship with money from what we are taught growing up, and that can be taught from society in general, but most of that comes from our parents. So, whatever
Mhm.
your parents believed about money growing up, whatever their relationship with money was, all of that gets passed down onto you, often subconsciously, unless you consciously do something to change it.
Yeah. I think in my case, the scarcity conversation was a big one. And overspending and not, and gosh, everything on credit. Yeah. I can remember my dad brought home, he didn't even tell my mom he was doing this. He went and bought a 1964 Corvette Stingray and just brought it home. And I mean, I can remember the fights that broke out on that one. And he was on the couch for a very long time because of that particular purchase. But it was this overspending, this overgiving that definitely was what was brought up in. How about you? Like for you to be in this field, how did that happen?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And honestly, I could talk so much about this overspending. So I'd love to dive into that as well. But specifically for me, I grew up not having a ton of money. I was raised by a single mom with who
Mhm.
was young and had two young kids. And we had enough. Like she had worked very hard and was able to always put food on the table. But, we were definitely on the very low income bracket and
Mhm.
there was
Mhm.
never enough for extra. And so I actually learned to grow. I grew up learning to be quote smart with my money. So I started saving from a young age. I was pretty stingy. I got my first job. I mean, I started working when I was 13, but my first like real job when I was 16, and then I saved 70% of every paycheck when I was young because I didn't have other bills and things that I needed to pay. And so I was always very financially responsible because of the way that I grew up with money. But at the same time, I didn't have a healthy relationship with money. And
Mhm.
I think those
Mhm.
are different things.
Absolutely.